so make sure you censor Mr. Robinson.
Yes, sir. Mr. Leach.
Well, you always get those open mics.
I don't think it would be him you'd have to worry about.
No, I don't. I'm really concerned actually
I don't
about
think
that
so
one.
I have my moments.
But the open mics are always good. Hot when it's a hot mic and someone doesn't notice, that's always fun.
Yeah. Okay, 6:30.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Raymond School District Number 14's regular school board meeting on this Monday, August 18th, 2025. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. This meeting is now called to order. It is 6:30 p.m. Please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Natalie, will you do roll call of attendance?
Ed Robinson,
Here.
Jennifer Gonzalez,
Here.
Mike Powers,
Here.
Audrey Kostick,
Here.
Keith Gassenson.
Do we have verification of public notice pursuant to 19.841 Wisconsin statutes?
Yes. Oh, wow, that's loud. The meeting was posted in all the usual spots. Schoolhouse doors, Village Hall, e-Vergent, online, media were notified.
Thank you, Mike. We move to approve the agenda of this meeting. Okay, we'll stop right there.
I motion to approve the agenda of the meeting.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda for this meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We move to the consent agenda. I will assume that all of you have taken the time to look at your packet and go over the minutes. Are there any adjustments, changes? Before we...
There's two adjustments that need to be made. There was a spelling error in my name towards the top. It was an O instead of an A. And also at the end, there was thanks for Mike Leach for taking over the meeting. It was supposed to be for me. So, just, it's okay. We don't care. Just
Technicals.
Any others? With those corrections, let's move to A, the approval of regular meeting minutes from 7/21/25.
I'll make a motion to approve
second.
minutes from 7:21.
We have a motion and a second to approve the regular meeting minutes from 7/21/25. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we move to the approval of special meeting minutes from 7/29/25.
I motion to approve the meeting minutes from 7:29:25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the special meeting minutes from 7/29/25. All those in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Oh, you were-
You were not here.
I wasn't
Okay.
at the meeting.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of special meeting minutes from 8/7/2025.
I move to approve the minutes from 8/7/25.
Do we have a second?
I second. I wasn't here.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the special meeting minutes from 8/7/2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I wasn't there neither.
Yep, I abstain on that one.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. There was no workshop held in August. Our community picnic was held on August 4th, and I'm sure somebody will speak to that a little bit later. We'll move to financial reports. And Jeff?
So June is notoriously long, that's why, and it was my first meeting. July is pretty much the opposite. There's significantly less activity in July, so I won't be talking that much. And we went over most of it on Wednesday at the Finance Committee meeting. But so those of you that weren't there, I'll just highlight some of the documents. Mike, do you want me to do it mine, or do you want to do it on yours?
I can scroll.
Okay.
We'll eventually get there. Okay.
So again, the first page is the cash disbursement, so payroll, accounts payable checks, and wire transfers. So the first, just to note, we had payroll accruals, which is why you see two payrolls on there. So there's teachers and then the contracted staff that start on July 1st. So that's why you see two payroll dates on the same date. No unusual activity. If you go to the next page, the bank reconciliation for the general checking and the money market accounts. So again, you see the ending balances in June, beginning balances in July. Cash receipts, so revenue coming in. A lot of them are receivables. Receivable is money that is accounted for in the previous year's budget. So that you won't see them on the monthly financial statement. You will see them in the balance sheet, which I'll show you in a second. One board member had asked about the exempt computer aid. That amount was set in 2017, and it's the amount that we got in 2017 multiplied by 1.046 something. So that until they take that away, that's the amount that we're going to get until they take it away. And it was for adjusting personal property taxes because computers weren't taxed back in, it was a different amount for maybe 5 or 6 or 7 years. And then they just said, well, we're not going to do this calculation anymore. We're just going to give you the same amount each year. So that was the answer for the exempt computer aid receivable. And for some reason, they give it to us in July, so we have to do it as a receivable, which is inconvenient. So those are cash receipts. So again, the ending balances for the checking and the money market and the reconciliation at the end. The next page is the Fund 39 savings account, which we still had in July. Not a lot of activity except for interest. The next page is the checks that were written. It reconciles to the accounts payable checks and wire transfers in the previous reconciliation. The next page is Fund 21, which is the activity account. You'll see more activity happening throughout the year. Just to note, we have the musical now in Fund 21, and then we have the PTO donation for High Interest Day from the previous year, and that's one of our donations for July. And so the PTO has donated a significant amount in the last 2 months that I've been here. So they're very generous in their donations, so we thank them for that. The next page is the balance sheet. I did go through this in more depth. It's a pure export from Skyward. Again, assets are money coming to us. Liabilities are money that's going to go out. It hasn't been paid. A lot of them are payroll accruals from payroll. And the Q's is fund balance. If you see a negative number, it's actually a positive. So we have the balance sheet for Fund 10, Fund 21, and Fund 27, Fund 38, and Fund 39. So I won't go over the balance sheet very often. If you ever see anything or you have a question in it, you can always ask. A couple of the things to note is just where our borrowing is sitting, which sits in the 811 100 account, liability account, which is 750. Hopefully paying that off this month. And then the interest for that also is in a liability at 811 700. They got a lot of other things are just payroll liabilities. So, and then the next page is our cash flow. So when it's in white, that means it's finished. And I did have a question. We had some questions about this, so I just want to just make sure it's clear. The month, you see the month. The ending balance is the balance of cash that we hold in the checking and money market account. So Fund 21's not in there. Fund 39, we're going to be closing the account and moving the accounting. So you'll hopefully see that in August. But it's just pure cash. My main goal is to make sure we have enough cash to pay all our bills and then to pay people. That's one of my biggest goals, so I look at this constantly.
It's an important goal.
Yeah, I mean, accounting is accounting, it's accounting sometimes isn't reality, but if I was gonna take all the money out of the bank, which I can't, that's how much cash we would have. So in July, we ended with $659,809, so that's how much cash we had ending in July. The next column is the amount of revenue we took in cash, which is actually not all of it's reflected on the monthly financial state in the accounting because they're receivables, but it's cash. And then the payroll, so that's money that is deducted from the banks, bank reconciliation, it's part of the bank reconciliation. And then the $334,192 is how many wires and checks were cashed that month. And then the next column would be reserved for line of credit, draws, or paybacks, which we had none in July. The next one is how much if I wrote checks or there's checks outstanding that haven't cleared yet. So like if we have $659,000 in cash, but I wrote $100,000 in checks, like for instance in June, you see that $185,000. There's a lot of checks written in June at the end to clear, and then they're all cleared, and then in July there's $14,000 worth of checks outstanding. So then the last column is the outstanding balance, like if it was reality, if all the checks were cashed. So again in the amounts in yellow or orange, I think it's yellow, that's my projection again. So these I'm never going to be able to project down to the dollar, so they'll be always changing. So if you compare last week's cash flow or last month's cash flow to this month's cash flow, the numbers will all change because they're formula together. So once something changes, almost everything else changes, at least in the first column. My projections are still there. The next page is, we'll finally get to see some comparisons. So we see the comparison from July 2024 to July 2025. And it's kind of how I take some of my projections. So they'll be very similar from one year to the next, from 1 month to the next month of the next year. So they're pretty similar unless something major happens. So you'll see that comparison, and it is pretty comparable. And the next page is just where revenues come from. The dates are not right. We have the calendar, but I didn't have time to change the dates, but they're very similar. And the next page is for people who are visual learners. We have this is the state of finance in Wisconsin. You get peaks and valleys based on whatever month you're in. The next page, I think, should be the monthly financial statement. I'm not going to go through this very often either. So this is the pure export from Skyward. Again, those receivables are not accounted for in 2025, 2026. So you do not see those accounts in there. But everything's breaking down with descriptions. The budget that we approved The budget numbers are in there. It says revised budget, but it's not, it's the preliminary budget. And then finally, at the end, I can go through anybody, if anybody wants some accounting fun, I can go through any of this with anybody. Keep going. So here's a summary, and just for the record, the ending July fund balance was 616, not 553, so I'm going to change that for the official record. There's no variances right now because we haven't set the final budget, so I don't really do variances until after October. And then, but you do see trying to do the balanced budget for revenues and expenses. So if there is a variance eventually, probably in April, March or April-ish, you'll see some variances.
So the fund balance is not a static number?
No, it'll always change.
You may see that change month to month, and you're saying that obviously where it ended up landing off the projected is actually 616.
Yeah, yes.
And then that, we anticipate if we come in better on our numbers, that number should grow.
It will always go down depending on how much money you get. So it will, depending on how much you spend or how many liabilities you have, it's all of the assets and liabilities combined. It's all your money, all the stuff coming in to you, stuff going out. So it will always be this weird fluid number. That's why when, people concentrate on fund balance, yes, it's important, but it's constantly changing. So.
However, we should note it's in a better position than it was at this time last year.
Yes. All right. I'm going to give you your microphone back.
Yes. This one does not like anyone.
Thank you, Jeff. We move to the public portion of the meeting. Members of the public wishing to address the board on any topic that is posted on the agenda. Or,
Yeah, you gotta approve the financials.
okay.
So I move to approve the financial reports given by Jeff.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the financial report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dawn. Again, we move to the public portion of the meeting. Members of the public wishing to address the board on any topic that is posted on the agenda are required to complete a public input form before the beginning of the meeting and submit it to the board clerk for consideration.
I do have one for Raymond.
Can't hear me? Oh,
Oh,
now you
there
can
it
hear
goes.
me. There we go. I actually have two questions. I've noticed that in the past few months, you've been voting on, I think they're called intergovernmental agreements, like between our school and another school. I've noticed that I haven't seen anything for the consortium for the food. Is that something that you're going to vote on? Because I have not seen anything with that, and the reason I'm asking that is because I've been going to the facilities meetings and you're talking about data wrangler, and I was wondering how you're going to fit that into the agreement. So that's basically my question.
Okay. And normally, we don't engage a whole lot. I can answer the question quickly. Jeff also runs the food consortium, so I would recommend you connect with him on that. But the data wrangler information that we're seeing right now is favorable, which is good. We are not anticipating the food consortium paying for our monthly reports because we're choosing to get those reports. So
Right.
that's something we had to budget for in our general
Right.
budget. But the installation of the meter was agreed upon because of the fact that we're a production kitchen. So last year they installed
So the
meter.
consortium agreed to that?
They agreed to that, yes.
Okay, and then do we have an agreement, like a contract or something with the consortium between all the different schools?
There's an agreement, all of our shared services have agreements, and yes, there's a consortium agreement that we annually enter into.
So it's not something you're voting on, because I haven't seen anything voted on yet.
I don't know when the
Schools-
timing is of that, if that's something that,
Because school's starting soon.
sure. Well, we're in it, I can tell you that, and we're still a
Well, yeah,
production kitchen.
I agree, you're in
Let
it.
me talk with that a little bit.
Sure.
Sure,
Right now, it's in the data gathering mode.
the data wrangler.
Yes.
Yes.
We're just gathering data.
Okay.
We don't know exactly yet, down to the precise numbers, where the costs are. We
Right.
know that, the freezer and refrigerator use some electricity. Those costs may already be baked in to the consortium charges. So this is just going to validate, and if in fact things are way out of whack, once we start getting more data,
Okay.
then we can start comparing and then determine if adjustments need to be made. But Jeff will be the one to look at all of that data and then determine if adjustments are going to be made.
Okay.
But at this point, we don't know enough information.
Okay.
So I can answer your question. So
Sure.
there's something called an alternate food service authority agreement that when we did our contract in 2022, wait, what year is it? 2023 or 2022 or 2022, the consortium schools agreed that we would have an alternate food service authority, which means Yorkville is the fiscal agent.
Right.
And so the board doesn't necessarily have to approve each agreement. It just, the food service authority has to be signed by the superintendent each year. So there's no,
So there's no vote, it's just
no,
Mike signing?
and there's no there's not so Yorkville, I do all the work for all of the consortiums, and there is no Fund 50 accounting for the other 4 schools. It's just for Yorkville. So there is an alternate, it's called the alternate food service authority, and it's signed by the leader of each school, so the superintendents.
So then that's signed every year? Because I know when we have our annual meeting, we vote to provide a service. So is this something you're signing at the same time, so it's school year signing?
Yes.
Okay,
So I would say a vote to give me the authority to sign the consortium agreement will probably be the technical words when you're approving the annual meeting.
okay.
So we can make a note of that.
I just wanted, that was
To know
just-
what you're actually approving, because we
Right.
have zeros on the budget sheet because it's managed by the consortium.
Right. I was just wondering because I'm seeing you vote on all this other stuff, and I've never seen that, but yet I know we vote on it at the annual meeting.
Yeah, the other agreements are the 660301, which is run by state statute. The DPI nutrition, they are a little bit different the way they do things, so.
Okay, great, thanks for the help.
That's a good question. Thanks, Dory. You're welcome.
Next, we move to district business. First up is authorization to obtain a line of credit for short-term borrowing.
Oh, I had good luck.
Hang on to it.
Oh, it's a static thing. All right, so I build computers, so I know. Okay, so I understand. The bank, they had a big meeting at the bank last Wednesday to have us. I've met with the bank with Neil a couple times, gave them many documents to try to get the borrow solidified. And so the bank board approved our short-term borrowing last Wednesday. And so what they asked us to do is they asked us to borrow it all at once. So my original plan, and we're still gonna follow state statute. So state statute says you can only borrow a certain amount. You have to designate how much you're going to borrow, which we did, from July 1 to October, which we did that last meeting. And then we're going to do that again in October when we set the levy. And we're going to state how much we're going to borrow from that point forward. But the bank asks us to just do one borrow. So this is mainly for the bank to get the short-term borrow in one. We're still, if I do borrow, I still will follow state statute and what we just decided at the board meeting. But this is just to approve the line of credit of 1.2 million. That doesn't mean we're using it all, but it's just easier for the bank to do it this way. So we're asking you to approve just the one line of credit.
I'll make the motion to authorize the administration to obtain line of credit from Community State Bank for the purpose of operating and maintaining public construction in the district during the current year for an amount not to exceed 1.2 billion.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to authorize the line of credit for short-term borrowing as stated. Any discussion?
I just want to add that there's no interest until the money's taken.
Right. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll move to the approval of shared services, 66.0301, early childhood and PT.
Yes, as you heard from our comment discussion, we have shared services with a variety of different places because we're very small. So for us to have a full-time person in early childhood or physical therapy would not be cost effective. It's been going on for a very long time. We have shared service agreements with neighboring districts around us. Tonight we're asking for us to consider the early childhood, which has run out of Union Grove Elementary, and physical therapy. Last month we approved 2 different services. So asking for the approval of the shared services for early childhood and physical therapy.
I make a motion to approve the agreement for shared services for physical therapy and early childhood as outlined in the proposal agreements.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agreement for shared services for PT and early childhood as proposed as outlined in the proposed agreements. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of contract renewal for Dana Marty.
So Dana's been with us the last 2 years, and this is an extension of her contract, so it will be an additional 2 years. It's been great to work with Dana so far, and there's a lot coming down the pike. She's done a great job with Act 20 last year, and then working into the curriculum role. She's really taken on the direction for curriculum and all things learning here. So we certainly appreciate Dana and want to extend her contract 2 more years.
Motion to approve the contract for Dana Marty, the extension of employment for 2 years from 2025 to 2027. We want to thank her for her services the past 2 years and definitely look forward to the next 2 years.
I'll second it. Everybody wants.
Wow. Fighting over the approval, make a note of that.
Yeah. Yes, and Dana, thank you. I've heard wonderful things about you, so.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the contract renewal for Dana Marty. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dana. Next, we are going to review the student handbook.
Yes. The next 2 items are really just updates for the board to let them know the things that they're looking at are updated. The handbook here, if anyone wants to see it from the public, it's posted on our website, and it's also available here if you want to see it. This is what we have on the website for our families to reference when they have questions about the rules and expectations here at school. It's pretty similar to what it was last year, a couple of adjustments. When we talk about, the big things with kids is, dress code happens with middle school a lot of times. Some of the class conduct is a discussion point. Things that kids will get themselves engaged in. Our grading scale is always referenced often from this. So we wanted to clarify our language and make sure that every year we go into, we understand what we're telling people they should expect of us and we can expect of them. So it's posted on our website for families to reference, just looking for the board to approve the handbook as proposed.
I'll make a motion to approve the student handbook for the 2025-26 school year. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the student handbook with updates for the 2025-26 school year. Any discussion on this?
I have a question. I noticed on the grading scale that anything below a 60 is an F. When did that change? Like, I thought it was always below a 70 was an F.
Oh, gosh. I don't know when it
Has that
changed
been
here,
a
but
long
usually
time?
been a bit, yeah.
Has it been a long time?
It's been a few years. I mean, it did readjust to like the 98, 70, 60.
Sure.
And it was track of time, but it's not like so ancient ago, but we had a different grading scale.
Where
Not
70?
Too long ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's been a few years at least.
Can I ask why it changed? Like, are we just adapting to having dumber kids, or like,
I don't think we've lowered the standard by any means.
I'm just.
I wasn't here when it was changed, so I can't speak to the process they went through. I just know that it's a very similar
Like, throughout?
scale where my kids go to school up in Menominee Falls, yeah. Less than 60 tends to be. And there has been a little bit of a movement to look at that as we move to standards-based grading, but we're not really, I mean, we have standards that we grade to here, but we're not necessarily unique because we do give a letter grade to our kids. So I could certainly do a little bit of inquiry into when that happened. Dana, our newly refreshed contract, can look into that for a future meeting for sure, to see a little
Yeah,
more
I'm just
history.
curious, 'cause
Sure.
I feel like if anything, we should want a better grading scale,
Mhm.
so.
I think the other piece is, this is unique to us because we're a K-8. Not that K-8 does not matter from an academic standpoint, but when they get to high school, the sorting and selecting and ranking and all those things happen, GPAs, and that world is real. So we want to make sure whatever we're aligned with is aligned with the high school. So and ours, from what I understand, is aligned
That's what I was.
with the high school. But I can certainly find out a little more history for you as to how that
I'd
works.
appreciate that, thank you.
No problem.
Because
Well, I would say also it's best practice, and that's sort of what that scale is what's used, like, well,
everywhere now.
It's a fairly common. I wasn't shocked when I read it for the first time. It was pretty standard, but I can certainly get a little more history.
Okay,
Okay, we had a motion and a second. All those in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the review and approval of updated safety manual.
Yes. At the risk of walking into the room with this over my head, it's a little too symbolic for some people. But this is our crisis manual. It's really what we go by in terms of how we keep things safe around here. We don't have this published online for a reason, by design. I think it would be very foolish for us to put all of our, hey, this is how we take care of your kids, check it out, manual. So this is great. If you ever want to see it, you certainly can. Sheriff's Department worked with us once again. We had a grant last year, are continuing this year with preparation as the teachers come back on Wednesday. So we'll be going through some refresher stuff. We have a few new staff as well, but it's good to know we have a plan. There's a shortened version of this as well that will be in every go bag for every teacher. The go bags have some basic supplies, like the one in the corner that's hanging up over there is blue. That backpack goes with anyone who's in this room that has to leave with kids. So that way they've got their flashlight, their stuff, their class lists. It's got it all there. That was a new feature last year, and then we maintained it, and we're going to be adding to those as the year goes on.
How often do you practice that?
Well, it depends on the drill. We have drills every month. So we have fire drills every month. We have tornado drills twice a year. We have lockdowns, usually quarterly. There's some kind of lockdown, like either a shelter in place, which is just like sort of keep doing what you're doing in a classroom, and then the lockdown, which is lock your doors because there may be someone outside trying to get in. And then one time last year in the spring, we did an evacuation from site, which was just to our spot that I don't want to announce, but we evacuated to that site. So whenever we do the larger drills, like the lockdowns, and we don't usually send an email home for a fire drill, because that's pretty standard. But we do send an email home prior to any of the other drills, so that way you as a parent can say, hey, today or tomorrow you have a drill, let's talk about safety. Because sometimes the kids get a little bit nervous, you know, and I think the best thing is if we normalize this and we make it a plan, they usually feel better about it when it happens. So it's been productive, but we certainly want to leave that power in the parents' hands to say, hey, talk with your kid about safety. So we do those. Like I said, it's usually the big evacuations once a year. So, but whenever they go out, even when they go to recess, a lot of them will bring the go bag because there's a simple first aid kit in there. And sometimes when kids have Band-Aids, it's a lot easier to give them one right there than it is to send them into the office. So, if they're like my 5-year-old, they put a Band-Aid on anything.
Do we have any scheduled visits from safety officers through the year?
Yes, one of our fire drills is always accompanied, so they have like they'll say block an entrance, so there's an extra challenge. So they'll come in for one drill and they'll say, "Up, the east, you can't use the east door. That's where the fire is," and the kids have to figure out how to go around somewhere else. And then we usually invite to when we start the lockdown procedure, at least to one. The sheriffs will come, and they're willing to come to any of them. We also have a monthly crisis team meeting that I'm a part of, that I sit down with the crisis team, and which involves like all local authorities, and we just talk about things that are going on, kids, things that we're noticing. Some disciplinary data is brought up. We don't ever want to have a kid slip through the cracks that maybe we missed an indicator back in 6th grade because we didn't talk about it with, you know, the high school and the sheriffs. So, and obviously parents, if there's ever a concern, parents are involved accordingly.
Okay, good. Never can be too safe. So, is there a motion to approve the Raymond crisis plan?
I'll make a motion to approve the Raymond Crisis Plan for 2025 and 26.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Raymond School crisis plan for the 2025-2026 school year. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we move to committee reports. Curriculum, there was none. Facilities,
We had our meeting this 14th. We had Bob in there. He gave us an update on all his summer activities, cleaning, waxing floors. He should be pretty close to finishing up all the LED lights and converting all the old fluorescent lights over to LED. We have all rooms, all classrooms now have all the little AC units, right, Mike?
Yes.
That's someone's donations and took care of that. The refrigerator freezer plan, although we're going to wait until next June, more than likely, to make that happen. The supplier, I think, found out that's a little more work than anticipated, but we still held him to his bid, and he's honoring that so far. And then the J system, which is our HVAC system, control system. We hope to have that done by the end of September, 1st of October, and that will allow us to have better control over each of the classrooms and our AC and heating units, turning them on, not all at once perhaps, but turn them on individually so that we can keep power demand down. So Bob will be working on all of that kind of stuff. We in the budget for the next coming school year, we don't really have anything big going on, except for the fire alarm system. We gotta update it and maintain that, make sure that that's in working order. And then I think, Mike, if you want to touch base about the second shift custodian.
Yeah, we're in the process of hiring a second shift custodian, so have not yet. We have a few candidates we're talking to this week to finalize things with one person. So it's a second shift to replace basically the 6 or 7 high school / younger helpers we have, combining those into one position. So having one person that would be here to handle cleaning and custodial support, and then there would be additional hours given to a few of our people that are still on. So the person wouldn't be working alone, but they would be largely responsible for 15 classrooms and the common space. So Bob's working with us on that, and we're hopeful to get someone here soon.
Why the change?
Consistency, it's hard, kids' schedules. A lot of our students are athletes or involved with school stuff, so all of a sudden you've got a kid is in the performance and they're MIA for 2 weeks, and then the rest of the team ends up having to pick it up. So we are testing our roof's ability to gather rain right now, if you're wondering. So it's working well so far. But no, we have services that are it's sometimes inconsistent based on kids' schedules, and so we felt like rather than play the dance of 2 hours here, 2 hours there, put it together in a sound shift, budget for it, and try to see if we can get a better result.
Another thing to add to that is we're trying to get someone in here that also can learn some of the systems that Bob knows. So that way if Bob's not here and something goes on and somewhere, that way we've got someone in here that can help learn the systems and have a backup plan in case Bob's not around, he's sick, he's on vacation, whatever. Have someone take care of it.
It's about the backup Bob.
Back up, Bob.
So that's it for the facilities.
That's it? Okay.
Thank you, Ed. Finance.
We had our meeting last week, Wednesday. Again, Jeff went through all the detail that he went with today. There was a few questions, but nothing that stood out very much. He did go through the audit. There were no big issues. I don't know when that final report, did they say when their final report would be? Okay. So other than that, that was it.
We do anticipate the audit being done substantially earlier than last year.
Exactly.
I can say that.
That
So-
wouldn't be difficult, from
Would
what
not.
I understand.
Right.
Okay, that's it?
That's it.
Okay, the next was personnel, and we had no meeting. Policy will be held on in September, and that date is to be determined. Administrative reports. Mr. Lee?
Yes, it's been a great summer wrap here. I think we're at the spot, though, where we're kind of tired of planning and thinking and just want to start doing and having school, because the kids get back in school here and it all starts to roll itself out nicely. So we're excited for the first day of school. Our admin team has always talked about these first days back as sort of like our administrative Super Bowl, and the teachers do a great job coming to school, and their Super Bowl is that first day. So we get to have kids back in our school here soon. I want to welcome 2 new staff members. You'll notice in the special meetings minutes, we hired 2 people. Jacob LaForest. Mr. LaForest comes to us teaching 6th and 7th grade, ELA. He taught a year last year at Salem in 6th grade. Did a great job moving up to this side of town. Is in a relationship with somebody who lives closer to West Dallas, so he figured he could live closer. And came with just rave reviews. We're really excited about what he offers us. Likes to coach, help. Anytime a teacher says, "Oh, I'd like to coach," it sort of gets your antenna up a little bit. So he's doing a great job. Came in today to get his room ready. And we have a new speech pathologist, Mackenzie Peters, who comes to us with a couple of years of clinical experience and a year in West Dallas as a speech practitioner. So we're excited we found someone, because it's a very, very hard to fill position, and she comes with experience. So it was a good find. It was one of those, like, you got to hire that quick. Because the market goes really fast. So we're excited to have Mackenzie on the team. She'll be in the same room that Mrs. Doctor was in. We certainly wish Mrs. Doctor the best, but she's back in her kids' district in Muskego where they go to school. So she's in a good place for her and her family. So that's where we are with our hiring and staffing. We also have been hiring other positions, a couple playground supervisors. Dana could speak to that if she wants to. K4 orientation was great. We had it last week. Great turnout. It was nice to have those AC units, because it was one of those really muggy days, and turned it on, got a little bit of relief in there, which was nice. Great conversations with our newest, youngest learners, and they're so pumped to be here. And they were here for an hour, and then we were all tired, so they all had to go. But it was good. I want to thank the staff who were involved with that, came in over the summer. They don't have to, but they want to get to know the kids, so they did. Mrs. Bourne did a great job. Mrs. Waldron, Ms. Vogie, the younger, Lila, daughter of, was there as well. She runs part of our 4K experience. So just excited. Leadership was there as well, working through talking with parents and just available for comment. And then K5 Pizza on the Playground was the next night. We had a jam-packed night, and it was great, well attended, great day of weather. We had Taher actually do the pizza this year, and it was nice because parents commented that, like, this is how school pizza is now. It's pretty good. So it's nice to have Taher putting some food out and showing off what they do. Great turnout, a lot of fun. Both kindergarten teachers were there. It's great to have that look of, hey, we develop relationships right away and get things going. So good event there. And then the very next night, 3 in a row, we had strategic planning, session number 3. We've had a sparsely attended, a couple sessions here with some community, but Ms. Hanson was there. Thank you. Appreciate that. And it's been nice to get the input from people who, and sometimes in between meetings they'll call me, so there is some input there as well. But we're working through the process of strategic planning. We have 4 buckets identified now. We have them clarified. We're starting to write goals. Staff are going to see the plan this week when they come back to work, so they can start to really author, hey, what do we have to do to continue to work in the 4 areas? The 4 areas are educational experience, financial management, safety and innovative projects, and then the 3rd or 4th bucket is totally evading me. Oh, culture and climate. There we go. Culture and climate. So those 4 buckets are what we're going to be focusing on for the next 3 years' time. So lots going on. And I did save the best, which is the picnic. I gave that to Miss Marty, so she has some things to talk about. So.
Yeah, the picnic was well attended. I think we thought we had almost 400 people, between 350, 400, which was about the same as last year. So everyone had a nice time. I talked to a lot of people. We were serving some food while you were schmoozing, I think, but that's okay. It was a very nice event, so I think that's going to be a good annual thing for us. We wrapped up, I wasn't here last month, so we wrapped up summer school. The kids really love it. Teachers, maybe not so much, but it ends up being fine. So we had about 135 kids, and we're just thankful that we have the opportunity to see them through that. We do a lot of enrichment, which is a pretty popular format. I was just going to talk about PD. Tomorrow we start with our new teacher orientation day. So we have a mentorship program. So every new teacher, whether you're experienced or not, is paired with a mentor. And we have some things that, we go through, like an orientation and that, but then they have someone they can kind of work with all year. And then, the next 2 weeks, professional development. We are still getting, and just got Friday, 4 new students that moved in. So we continue to, you just never know. All of a sudden they pop in, and so we're changing schedules and moving stuff around. So that'll probably go on until first day of school. Into the first week. So just the 1 teacher and the 1 speech pathologist. Yep.
I have a question. How many 4K open enroll out of Raymond? Do you know that answer?
I don't know offhand. I can find out for you.
Okay.
At some point next meeting. I don't know.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I know we have 24 students right now in K4. So a decent number, 2 smaller sections, which is fine. Our reimbursement for 4K is at 60%, so it's not essential that we run super large sections, but we do tend to add 5 to 7 local kids for kindergarten. This year I think we added 7 or 8, and it was great, but we already had a big class, so now we've got 2 pretty good sized 23 packs in kindergarten, so that's good to have a couple 23s. It's a lot of kindergartners, but they're cute, so it works.
It's an interesting group to say.
Yeah, that's right. So it's nice to see that. So because 4K is not required by law, Some parents will hold and wait, or they'll do childcare all day, full day, where they want to go do childcare full day. And then they'll come to us in 5K when it's the full day experience. So people have a lot of reasons why they might not sign up, but we can certainly find out if there's a number for K4 out.
Yeah, that's what I'd be curious on that.
Dana, I have a question for you regarding math. I know that we're going to be piloting
Yep.
Some possible programs. Do you have those lined up? I'm assuming you have those lined up.
We were going to for sure look at bridges, which is what they use at Yorkville and some of the other area districts, and some of our teachers have experiences with. We also want to look at our current program has a new version coming out, so we want to pilot that. And I think we were looking at HMH and not quite sure what the what our exact third one would be. But we're going to kind of in September right away we'll get together and start talking about that.
Okay, good, thank you.
Sure.
Next, board member comments.
I'll go a little bit more on the 5K and thank Mike and our first grade, or our kindergarten teachers and our chef from Taher. We did get way more compliments, and even I was very surprised at how good the pizza was. And they were nice enough to overcook one, so they gave it to me to take to the fire commission meeting, and they loved it and were very impressed with what our school is giving our students for school. They were like, this is what the kids get for school pizza? No way. So there was real big compliments. You guys did a great job on that. Got the little bit of extra ice cream for the kids that day that was left over from the picnic, and they were all excited about that. So, you know, it was a really good experience and stuff. So thank you guys and everyone that had something to do with that.
If I may, too, RCBO donated all of our ice cream this year, which was great, as well as a number of other sponsorships. So they kept the cost for us down. The total picnic cost is right around $500, which is pretty well budgeted for. So
$1.50 a person, not bad.
Any other comments?
I would just like to comment on, they did a little bit of the play. They gave us a little blurb of some of the music that they're going to have at the play coming this fall, and I thought it was phenomenal with the amount of kids that they had there. We have some good voices in this in this school, so I'm excited about the play, and I don't even have any kids in it. So
Well, I'm also going to comment on the picnic, and it was a perfect weather day. Very well attended. I didn't see some of your faces there. I did see a couple. It is a nice community gathering, nice to get to know your neighbors and share some food. Food was great. We had hamburgers, hot dogs with all the trimmings, ice cream, watermelon that was really good. And we missed the corn though. So, but thanks to all that participated and donated, and yeah, it was a good day. Something to be repeated. Okay, Ed? No, nothing? Nope. Okay. Any announcements or correspondence? Nothing? Okay, scheduling of our future board meetings. We have a board workshop that will be held on Monday, September 8th, because the first Monday in September is Labor Day, and we will be somewhere other than here.
yes.
And that will be at 5:30 p.m. A regular meeting for September is scheduled for Monday, September 15th at 6:30 p.m. And with that, that concludes our business for tonight. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Sorry.
7:23. We are adjourned.
Have a good night, everybody.
Stay
glad-
safe.
I'm
Stay
glad
safe
it-
out. Stay safe out there.
Yeah, it's not- yeah. Well,